Just getting ready and gearing up. Have you ever wanted to speak on a stage which will be hosted in a platform that can make you eternal? I'm talking about the red dot under this red lights and the stage that makes you that speaker that the whole world talks about. Today's episode, back after a health scare and after quite a long time, we are going to decode the step-by-step method in which you become that TEDx speaker. That's the stage that we're going to go through. Step-by-step blueprint. And this is the exact thing if you follow within 30 days. You will get that TEDx slot and you will become a TEDx speaker. We're going to guide you through every single step in the way. Everything that I know, all across the backgrounds, is what I'm going to discuss in today's life. To give you a little bit of a background to begin with, I joined a public speaking community. There I learned this method, and then I was able to apply the method and it worked like magic. Less than 30 days is when I got my first confirmation of my first ever TEDx talk. I repeated the same formula over the next 6 months with 7 people, and all 7 of them got a chance to speak on TEDx. Overall, so far, I've kind of mentored and helped 11 souls to speak on TEDx, and this method works like magic. So, all of the entire things that I've learned up until this point is what I'm going to be sharing in today's life. Let's begin in the form of phases. So, the first thing that you need to understand, what is TEDx? If you go to the website TED.com, you'll get to realize that it's a place where these 3 words are put together: technology, education, and design. So when you in incorporate all these different elements in life and you bring it together in a way that you can have frameworks, you can have designs, you can have stories, you can have the whole tagline that they talk about, which is called as ideas worth sharing. So if you have an experience in your life, if you have created something worthwhile, if you have mastered something crazy in your life which you know that the world needs to know, that deserves to go there on TEDx. How does TEDx work? So there are multiple hubs under TEDx, you can say. The major platform is called as TED. So if someone has given a TED talk, you know that they're invited and they are specific experts within that domain. Now, that is when TED invites you. And then there are TEDx events. TEDx events are when TED gives event organizers a license to host an event. And these events can take place in a corporate setup, in a small setup, in a big setup, in an auditorium, in a proper event that gets conducted in stadiums and stuff. Again, these are TEDx related events. And then there are small micro events that takes place, events like TED Ed, which is related to education. There are some kids related theme based events and all that takes place. In TED, they also have something called as fellows, so people can sign up as a fellow. They have all these different fellowship stuff. Now, my background with TEDx has been my first ever talk that I watched was a Tony Robbins TED talk, which just transformed my life completely once and for all. When I watched it in 2018, and I said to myself, "Well, I'm going to be on TEDx to such an extent that I became the world's youngest dentist to speak on TEDx." And it's crazy. I got to speak when I was, I think, 25 years old, kind of, yeah, just before turning 25. Okay, so that was what TEDx is all about. Now let's get into the process of what do you exactly do. So the best way that I like to go for is first doing a little bit of a background prep, then getting my speech and the idea and everything ready, and then reaching out to the organizers, building the network and creating the connections. So I used to run these TEDx workshops when I was in my Toastmasters. I was invited as keynote speakers to discuss this exact same topic and template. And probably at some point of time, I do foresee that I'm going to be running this as a workshop. However, I don't want to do it until and unless I have kind of reached that status where I feel that I will be invited in numerous talks. Because when I did that, it was back in COVID. However, the same rules apply even now. And a lot of people that I've known have followed these systems and have got the results. So I just wanted to put it out as a live in a step by step manner. So the first thing that you need is you need to prepare two very important documents. The first document is what I like to call it as your organizer's template, as in all the details that you need to have in mind that makes you credible enough so that when you reach out to the organizers, they will know who you are. So the best way to write that is your name, email ID, phone number, the place that you have, your brief experience of how you have established in your life. So the way that I look at it is what has been your top three achievements where a certain idea played a big role. So you can write that down, your top, and that could be one personal and two professional achievements. Always embed the idea into it because then you can work towards it. An idea could be something very simple. For example, for me, if I look at my previous two TED talks, the TEDx talks that I gave, the first idea was always be a baby, always be a baby, always be an eternal child. The second one is Mother Nature is the greatest friend. So when you look at all these, you can literally go and search Suryadeep Mazum, that TEDx talk. In fact, if you write my name, the first two things that appears are my TEDx talks. It feels pretty crazy. My YouTube channel and then the TEDx talks. It kind of feels good when you talk to people. And in fact, I literally go out saying like, you know how good I speak? Well, just search for my name and TEDx, you'll find out. It's crazy. Now, when you write down that first set of things, so the first set of things are called as a demographic details. I'm talking about what are you going to write down in that document: your name, place, phone number, email ID, address, and then you write down your biggest achievements. So two professional and one personal. The idea embedded into it. The next thing you're going to write down is what is that idea that you want to talk about. So let's just say for my upcoming TEDx talk, I do have multiple set of ideas in mind, but a lot of ideas. In fact, how can you turn AI as your best friend? How do you find your soulmate? How do you build a good relationship with your parents? How communication is the single biggest thing that can help you completely redefine your life once and for all. Okay, so all these different ideas is what I have. So you need to write your entire idea in bullet points or in a paragraph. Okay, that's the third thing you're going to write. Then in the next thing, you again, all this is in one document. Okay. The next thing you have to write down is what is it that people can take away from your idea. Let's just say you deliver the speech. What will be the takeaway points? What will be the call to action? What will be the the points that they can immediately implement? Okay. Now I'll tell you why you need to write this a little later, but just bear with me. You finished writing that, and I think you can write in bullet points. You can write in short paragraphs. Ideally, bullet points are best. Okay. Once that is done, the final thing you're going to write in that sheet is why are you and exclusively you are the right person for this particular speech, and you need to deliver that as a talk. When you write that down, that kind of establishes your credibility as well. So so what is your idea? What is the call to action? Why are you the right person? You've written that entire thing down, and it's all sorted for you. That document is ready. That's the first document. The second document that you need to have is your experience as a speaker. Now, that could be anything related to all the different places where you've spoken, all the way from your school, your college, your professional sector, if you've led meetings and stuff in your office or anything. By the way, anyone can become a TEDx speaker. There's no criteria, there is no eligibility or any of these things. You have to just have that entire thing written down and documented. So that makes it pretty easy for you to have a proper synchronous idea. So the way that I would do it is all the way from my school up until the present point, what are the different stages that I've spoken. Now, because I was a Toastmaster, it became easy for me to have that credibility. Oh, if someone is a Toastmaster, the least that they would have is they'll know how to organize their thoughts and deliver in front of a stage. And I was also a part of these different public speaking communities as well. So that always helped, right? So have these two documents ready. Once these two documents are ready, then we have to get into the speech preparation section. Now, speech preparation section, again, I've already created a complete live on it. How do you design a speech? So you might as well go back and check the live playlist. You'll find that out. But more or less, with respect to that idea, you need to frame your speech with stories, ensure that it has a good beginning and a good end. And that's it. Your speech is pretty much ready. I don't want to get into the depth of it, but you need to have a overall speech ready. I would also encourage that along with your speech, you need to have the idea of the speech and the idea that you wrote in the first document ready in the form of a promo video, 30 seconds to 1 minute. So do two videos. One is a 30-second video, 30 to 60-second video. One is a 3-minute video, because organizers, they tend to see how do you speak. So you turn on the camera and you speak that particular idea so that they can get a glimpse of who you are. You have that recorded, you have that ready, and then you can share it whenever the organizers ask. So these are all the preparatory work, the phase one of this entire journey of becoming a TEDx speaker in 30 days. These are the things that you need to do on day number one. The moment you do day number one, these set of tasks, you've got enough timeline right now ready to start interacting with people and ensuring that your entire stuff is locked in. Now, you won't get your entire speech prepared within a day. That's not going to happen. You obviously have to write, you need to iterate, you need to practice, you need to get better at it, and that's okay. But the first day you do all this work, you will be ready from day number two to go all guns blazing. And that's what we begin from day number two. In day number two, you're going to be doing three things parallelly. The first thing is, obviously, you will start drafting your speech. You can take AI's help. You can take the help of my previous speech structure live that I did. You can take help from that and prepare your speech. So that gets sorted. You can take the help of a mentor or a coach. You can literally reach out to me. All the details are given below. I would be more than happy to sit with you and do this entire thing with you. Okay. So that's the first thing. You got to get your speech ready. The second thing that you're going to do is you have to start reaching out to the TEDx event organizers. And the best way to do so is just go to Google and write down there is a platform called TEDx events. So there's a proper page that will open up. And if you open that page, you'll be able to see that there are these huge map that is given. And there are these different titles, search bars and all, just like how it usually is. And by the way, I can literally share the screen and show it to you, but I don't want to do so because firstly, this is me practicing my communication skills. Secondly, I want to be the center of your attention, not the screen. And thirdly, if you listen to me carefully, I would love for you to pause this live and then go back and do it, because that will give you a hands-on learning experience. So please make sure that you do it. So when you go to that page, you'll be able to find all these different events that's there all across the planet. So all you need to do is in the search bar, write your country's name. Why am I saying your country? Because you have the freedom to travel all across your country, and it shouldn't be a problem for you to travel all across. So when you write down the name of your country, if you're scared to travel all across, just write the name of your city. Okay. If you're in a tier two or a tier three city, just write down the name of the nearest big city where the biggest events, like most of the events will happen. And the moment you write down, you will see all the events that's happening over there up until the next 2.5 years. Okay. Now, before I get into how to apply in all these events, let me give you a little bit of a background of what happens when you look at all these events. So TEDx gives licenses to the organizers. The organizers, they pay TEDx a certain amount of money. They pay TED, the parent company, certain amount of money so that they can get the license and they can conduct the events. What is it for them? They become famous. They get a lot of visibility. It's a huge thing for their professional development. They can get sponsors and a lot of things can happen. They are curating and creating events. What's in it for TEDx? Well, they get more speakers and they get more visibility. They're putting more ideas onto the world. What is the win for the speakers? Well, they get visibility for sure, and they get that stamp of a TEDx speaker. What's in it for the audience? When they hear your inspiring stories or ideas worth inspiring, their lives can change. In fact, if today I am right now able to deliver this live to you, a humongous source of inspiration has been the TEDx talks, which I used to listen 2 to 3 TEDx talks every single day. I had saved all the playlists, and I would even listen to every single TEDx talk that would get released. every single day during my 2018, 2019 days, at a time when I was in college and I did not have money to spend in any of the coaching. So it is pretty important. Now, these licenses are renewed on a yearly basis, and the organizers, they ensure that they are bringing in speakers, preferably new speakers. And that's very important, that I only got to know after I finished my second TEDx talk. Whenever I was applying, people were like, I mean, we've already spoken on TEDx, so we're looking for new speakers. So that's why in today's live, I'm also going to give you a hack of, I want you to know firstly that if you've never spoken on TEDx, there's a big possibility that you're going to start getting those opportunities. If you are already a seasoned speaker, I'm going to give you hacks in which you can make sure that you get the TEDx talks, and something that I'm planning to apply not this year, maybe starting from next year. So stay tuned right till the end. Okay. So once they get the license, they have to organize an event. Now, there are various ways in which they can organize an event. I have seen organizers, they take care of the complete funding in terms of organizing the entire event. So they arrange for sponsors and whatnot. And then they invite speakers, and the speakers don't have to pay anything. There are certain other organizers also who charge the speakers a fee for a seat. And they just say that it just covers the basic organizing the entire event and everything. And then there are certain license holders that charges the speakers a proper fee, so that they sell a seat. Now, TED is very, very strict about it. They do not allow any form of a financial exchange with the speakers. So I personally believe that if any of the organizers are telling you that you have to pay a certain fee, I mean, anyways, the travel and the accommodation and all of these things are already on you. So they will also not pay you for your travel and organize and accommodation. You cannot expect that. Okay, so it's all on your own expense, as in visiting the venue and then speaking and all. And neither are you allowed to pay them a fee. Okay, so I'm always very, very particular about it. You should also be very, very particular about it. So keeping these foundations intact, now let's get into applying for the event. So you've gone to your city, you've clicked and found out what are the events that are happening. Now, I want you to have a look at the first couple of events, which will usually be the very, very latest events that are happening. So let's just say at this point of time, me doing the live, it's the 16th of Jan 2026. And if you go and check out, you might see that there are events happening next week, or in another couple of days from now, or maybe back to back days, or even this particular day itself, there are a lot of events. I want you to check on each of those events, and you will find mainly three things. The first, when you just click on each of those events, a new page will open up, and the new page will contain three information. Number one, the name of the event. Number two, when you, as you scroll down, every event will have a particular theme, and they will have the list of speakers that are there. Number three, as you scroll all the way to the bottom of this page, you'll be able to find the names of the organizing team, the names. And under their names, you'll find their social media handles. Okay. So I want you to start up first, even before you start applying, I want you to understand how a TEDx event works. So every organizer decides on a particular theme, and they start inviting, or they open up, roll out applications for speakers to apply in the form of uh, panelists that will be there with respect to that particular theme. But you will not be able to apply for that immediate event, because they've already selected the list of speakers. So what you are going to do is, whichever month that you are watching this live, or whichever month, the date that you are watching this particular live, go for at least 30 days and above date. So let's just say right now it's 16th of Jan 2026. Start applying for events, check for events that is after 16th of February 2026. Why am I saying this? Because of the same three reasons. Number one, they have listed the event, they've got the license, but they still haven't got the speakers. They have just selected the theme, but they still haven't lined up the speakers. Number three, the organizers are there, the listings are there. We don't know whether they have started getting the speakers or not. So you're going to start applying from that. Now, how are you going to apply? This point, I want to address this very, very important point, which I discovered. When I was in college, no one knows me. I don't have any social media. I'm not active on social media. I don't create content, nothing of this sort. Oh, yeah, that also reminds me. When you are preparing the documentary, remember I told you about, there's one more thing you need to keep a track of, if possible, is a few links of you speaking. Okay, links of you delivering a talk. And that's why I told you to have that entire promo video and everything recorded also in the form of links so that it's easily givable. You can easily disperse the same to them. Okay. So now that this entire process we've locked in, we've decided that we want to start applying for these events, you're going to click on the event. And as you click on the event, again, 1 month from the point when you're watching this, you will straight away go down, look at the theme, and then get into the organizers, click on the organizers, and their social media handles will be there. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to reach out to the social media organizing, as in the social media platforms of all the organizing team members, and send them a message. And that is what is called as a cold message. And the cold message is pretty simple. The way that I like to do it is, hey, so and so, I noticed that you're hosting a TEDx event on so and so date. If given an opportunity, it would mean the world to me if you could bless me a slot. Here is a sample of my work. I can guarantee you that I'm going to be the showstopper of the event. That's it. And then I will attach that entire forms and I'll send it to them. The forms that is going to include both the forms, by the way. The first form is going to include all the details about my idea and every single thing. Second form is going to include all my credentials as a speaker, my experiences as a speaker, along with the links. And this I will apply for 10 such events per day. Now, this is individually reaching out to the organizers. So if I'm able to see that the organizers are available on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, I will personally reach out to them and I will personally drop them a cold message. The second thing that I would do is, once I've given them a message in their personal DMs, I will also search the name. Like, I'll just copy the name of that particular event. Let's just say that the event that I spoke on, it was called as TEDx Garia. So I will copy that TEDx Garia. I will search it on Google, on Facebook, on these platforms. Every TEDx event usually has a Facebook page, a LinkedIn page. There's some form of a collaboration, some page where they are active. They have a proper active page. So every page is going to have their own messaging platform, and I can put out the same message over there. They'll have a message, they'll have a call number, so I can directly call them up. They'll have an email ID, so I can send them an email as well. Are you able to see what are the different touch points that I'm having just for one event? Like this, I'm going to be applying 10 such events. Along with that, I will also maintain an Excel sheet. An Excel sheet that will include all the date, event name, event link, organizer's name, and their email ID, their socials, the date in which I applied, and then whether I received any response or not. I will maintain that entire Excel sheet. Here's what I observed. When I started doing this entire activity, I did it for 3 days. Of course, before that, I had done the preparatory work. So I did for 3 days. I had sent exactly 31 applications. Now, then I was traveling, so I stopped. 31 applications is what I sent. I was traveling, so I forgot about it. I mean, I didn't forget about it. I wanted to continue to apply only when I came back. So that was a conscious choice that I took. On the 6th day, since I started applying, the 29th event organizer was TEDx Garia, and they reached out to me over an email. We are very happy to announce, we are very happy to let you know that we'd be blessed to have you as a part of this thing. However, these are the immediate details we need. And this is the next step, which is, what do you do when they start reaching out to you? Because obviously when you start sending all these high quality stuff to the organizers, they will know that, oh my God, you're serious about this, uh, to become a speaker, and you've done your homework because of all the preparatory work that you've done, and you've put it out. So they see that, and then they feel, wow, I think we've got a pretty good speaker. Let's reach out to him. So they will want to sit down with you for an interview. Even before the interview, they might even ask you a couple of questions. What is your idea? What is your call to action? Give us some socials. Give us your socials. Give us the little bit of what our audience can get the right feeling. Why are you the right person? You're just going to copy and paste the answers that you did as a part of your preparatory work. Are you able to understand why this is so important? Once that is done, they'll sit down with you for an interview where you can just talk about the same set of points. And then they'll give you a couple of guidelines that, okay, this is how, when is our event? This is how you, by the time you need to come, they'll speak of any of the terms and conditions. Like I mentioned, if they ask for any payment, ideally you should not be giving any payment. But let's just say if they talk about some sponsorships and all, you can take a call, whatever that's best for you. Okay. So take a call accordingly. Like I will never obviously encourage any form of payment whatsoever, because already you are paying to travel towards the event. You're paying by staying throughout the event. Ideally, what I would prefer is whenever I go to any event as a speaker, I always love to stay all the way from the beginning till the end of the event. That way I can interact, I can network, I can really give more and more value. And now, because I'm building all these intellectual assets right now on my socials, I know one single uh, little thing can inspire a lot of people to follow me. And that way, my brand as a whole, the number of followers, the numbers of subscribers, overall as a brand and as connections just continues to improve. So make sure that you do that. But in that interview, you need to be very, 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 very clear, crystal clear with the organizers. So they'll ask you their set of questions, get all those things clarified. And then when they tell you, do you have any questions for us? Here are a couple of things that you need to be very, very clear with the organizers. First, who is going to record the TEDx talk? So for me, what happened is my first TEDx talk, they asked me to record a separate video. Again, I got to speak on TEDx twice during the COVID period. So the first TEDx talk, they had a live virtual event where I delivered the talk live, but they had told me to record thing just as a backup. So what they did is they uploaded that backup talk itself as a TEDx talk, not my live one. For the second event though, they took that entire the whole thing happened over Zoom, and they uploaded the actual live presentation that I did. That was uploaded. Now, usually what they will do is they need to have a proper video camera that records the entire event. So who is going to be uploading it? By when can I expect it to be uploaded? What is the process of distribution? So do you want me to involve my audience? Is there any distribution channels? These are the questions that you need to ask them. You need to be very, very clear, because if you don't have a proper system to discuss with the organizers, your talk might not get uploaded. So be very, very clear. There are also a couple of very, very important ground rules which you need to keep in mind and ask them as well. Go to TEDx. There are certain topics that you should not talk about. It's very difficult because those talks might not be published. Okay. So I think with Yogeshwari, even though I got a chance to speak with her in the same TEDx event, that was my second TEDx talk, her first, but that officially did not get published because of certain reasons. So all those things is what you need to clarify with the organizer. Now, once that is clear and you've got the thumbs up, then from that moment until you the event and everything happens, you just continue. You just need to continue to practice your speech, discuss with the organizer, plan your travels, practice, 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 get better, go out there and deliver your TEDx talk. The moment you deliver your TEDx talk, you'll obviously get all the applause and whatever, whatever. The job is not yet done. You come back and then you need to keep following up with the organizer until the point when the TEDx talk gets uploaded in YouTube. It usually takes, I'll tell you, for me, because it was virtual, the first TEDx talk got published in another 15 to 20 days. The second one got published within 10 days. In a physical setup, it can range anywhere between a week to 10 days to 30 to 45 days. So make sure that you have that proper follow-up system with the organizer. You can also, whoever's recording, you can tell them, in the camera, just speak to them and tell them to record it properly, and so that they'll do a good job and a good video and everything is going to get uploaded. Now, until and unless you get the TEDx talk uploaded in YouTube and you have that link on the TEDx YouTube channel, your job is not yet done. The moment you get that, you can obviously share it across all your socials. And the way TEDx platform works is, if it's a physical talk, it blows up. It automatically blows up because so many people are watching TEDx, searching it day in and day out. If it's a virtual thing, it takes a little less in terms of visibility. So my TEDx talks are only in the thousands range, which obviously I feel over a period of time it's going to blow up because the ideas are crazy. So don't focus too much on how many people are watching it, because eventually when you're going to grow, more and more people will get to know you and more people will watch, more and more people will obviously get the taste of you and all of those things. So day one is when you do all the foundations, and then you move into day two onwards, preparing your speech, reaching out to the organizers, waiting until you hit doing it 10, at least minimum 10 per day, until you crack the interview and get that opportunity. There will be the tendency to give up. Like I told you, I worked with 11 people. There are uh, three of them who did not even, they had the scripts and everything ready, but they never continued to apply, and that stopped the momentum. You're not going to miraculously expect that someone is just going to gift you a TEDx slot, isn't it? You've got to be able to put those efforts, and if you do that consistently over a period of time, you'll be blown away. And I'll tell you, it feels really, really, really so rewarding. Even now, at this point of time, me doing this live, I genuinely feel inspired to sit down and do that entire task. However, I'm in the process of building Sunsden, and I want to appear on TEDx once I've hit that success rate. I've done that when I was a college student and I was a nobody. Now I want to be in TEDx when I've really achieved something, so that I know that I have a far bigger idea worth sharing, something that can genuinely inspire millions and millions of people all across the planet. A couple of very, very quick Q&As, rapid fire Q&As before we wind up. Can we give TEDx talks in regional languages? Yes, there are different languages. Just reach out to the organizer. You can also have that language criteria. Select that and you can do so. Can I give TEDx talks in different countries and all? Yes, feel free to apply if you're willing to travel. Like I do not apply for international TEDx talks because I still don't know the process of traveling into a different country. So I have the freedom, flexibility, the money, and the bandwidth, as well as the knowledge to travel all across India. But whenever it's foreign, I haven't yet traveled. I don't know the visa processes. I have no idea about the expenses, and I feel like abroad is way too costly. So unless I am able to learn the entire thing and I'm worthy of it, I'll not do it. But if you can afford it, go for it for sure. Okay. The next thing is, do I have to pay anything to anyone? No, you don't have to if you don't want to. Be very, very clear about it. And usually TEDx doesn't uh, appreciate or recommend that as well. Okay. It's up to the organizers to take care of the entire thing end to end. Okay. Number four, will I get any mementos or certificates? Well, if it's a physical one, usually they do give some form of a memento or a trophy or whatever it is, but don't really go there for it. So I know a couple of the people that I've worked with, the speakers I've worked with, the leaders I've worked with, they've got a lot of very, very interesting mementos. But I didn't receive any mementos as such. I didn't need as well. The fact that my talk is over there, that is in itself the biggest memento. The fifth point is, how does life change after TEDx? For me, honestly, it doesn't. It didn't. It's just that when people search my name on YouTube, they find my TEDx talk, but nothing really changed much for me. However, I didn't capitalize on it enough. And that's because I didn't reach out to the right opportunities, I didn't expose myself enough, I didn't know the proper marketing and PR that brands me in that manner. So if you are able to strategically place your TEDx talk in such a manner, it's the same thing as writing a book, building a brand, doing those PR activities, going for the interviews, whatever it is. It all comes down to how are you able to position the TEDx talk in the exact right moment in your life. Okay, number four. I'm a busy working professional. I've never spoken in my life. Will I be eligible for speaking on TEDx? 110% yes. It's anyone can become a TEDx speaker as long as you have an idea worth sharing. Next one is, what is the level of preparation that I need? Well, the only preparation that you need is following the system that I mentioned. And also, you need to be able to prepare for the speech. So, the way that I look at it is like 95% of the people that I listen to, I do not listen to them. And that's because the quality of them as a speaker, like I've attended quite a few TEDx events so far, and 90 to 95% of the speakers I didn't enjoy. They were great in their achievements, they were great in the way they do things, but as a speaker I didn't enjoy. So that's the only thing that you need to work upon. And that's it, I guess. These are the pretty much the questions that are there. If there are any further questions, again, please do drop them in the comments. Would be more than happy to answer them as well. I hope this live was useful. uh, it's so surprising that it took 74 episodes for me to record this live. It's crazy, but this is definitely something that you need to aspire for. And if you got an idea worth sharing, it the world needs you. The world needs to know it, needs to learn from you, needs to get that and implement it in their day-to-day life. So I hope and pray that you become a TEDx speaker, and when you do so, please do let me know so that I can watch it and root and cheer for you. Again, if you need any help with that process as well, all the details are below. Do let me know. If there's any way that I can help, would mean the world if I can be of any form of service in this particular journey towards a TEDx speaker for you. With that, this is Dr. Surya. Love you so much. It's brand new beginnings. 2026, New Year started. It's going to be crazy. I'll see you in the next one.